Did you know that most of the AD carry players are actually trolling their builds? Example 1, Tristana, example 2, Vayne, example 3, Kaisa. Now, Kaisa, this build can be fine if you're ahead, but if you ever go even or behind, I recommend you to actually go Kraken and Navori. Now, what's the reason I even say this? So, they actually turbo nerfed static, and just to be clear, you don't even build AP on Tristana to sort of amplify your wave clear. So, let's say realistically you're gonna reach 10, 12 minutes, 11 minutes in a game, right? And I'm gonna go for a wave that's like completely uncleared, right? We have static shift, right? And just check how much wave clear does it give us. I'm gonna hit the whole wave with the static effect, right? We see that the whole thing got wiped. But do we know the reason why the whole thing got wiped? It didn't get wiped so quickly because of the static. It got wiped so quickly there because I critted with static, so watch. Now suddenly, it takes a little more effort to actually clear the wave, and it will progressively take more and more effort to actually just sort of clear a wave. And while also, just to be clear, you push waves usually to get plates or perhaps to look for roams, right? Now, one thing you have to understand that this thing just gonna be a very simple eye check. For example, you go Kraken, right? Say Tristana gets up to 125% attack speed, but we don't have to go for maximum one. So say with Tristana, before you even all in lane, some people are gonna say with static you get an upfront proc, and with Kraken you don't. You are long ranged, and you also have a jump. So basically it means that you can stack off like 2 stacks of Kraken, then jump in with W, and boom, you can get your Kraken off completely, right? It's just very easy to do that. Now from the other hand, look at the DPS, right? Like generally Tristana attacks so quickly with little tempo and Q that not having Kraken is a huge DPS loss, because you can get so many Kraken procs off when you have your Q on. It's unreal. Beside of that, it just usually helps you to freeze in some case scenario a little better if you are ever looking to do that, because with static you perma shove. So if you ever want to freeze, then that's that. From the other hand, the good side of the Kraken is that you're insanely good at taking down objectives, which you're not so great as if you go static. For example, look at this. We are doing Herald, right? We are getting constant procs of Kraken, and we can see every third basic attack just does so much damage because we have this attack speed from our Q, which is really insane. But the issue is that people go Navori on Tristana with static, which doesn't even make sense. You should go IE. Because people are not getting the whole goal of static. Like, static is a snowbally item, but it's not even worth. Because people are not even like building correctly their shit build. So it's like nowadays allows you to go for more frequent Qs and E's, which Q does synergize really well with Kraken, but there is nothing really in Tristana's kit that synergizes so insanely well with static that you want to reset that certain ability. So, for example, you finish these two, and we can see like we can have almost a permanent. I'm gonna toggle off the cooldown, of course. We can see that once you Q, you're gonna have an almost permanent amount of Q, of course, and that just means that you have this perma DPS, right? Like once you max it out, it's even better, right? But also you can like spam your E quite often. Now I know that generally you do the same thing similarly with the other build, with the static one, but you don't get so frequent Kraken procs, right? Because you don't have Kraken. So basically having like 125% attack speed, plus the attack speed you get from items, plus the one you get from, of course, lethal tempo. At the end of the day, like, you have so much attack speed, but without Kraken, that just sucks. Like, that's your good on-hit item on Tristana, and if you just don't go for it, that just sucks. Because I know people want the wave clear, but after a period of time that doesn't wave clears too well. That's the issue. Like after a period of time, it just simply doesn't wave clear so insanely anymore static. And as I said, you're gonna like the damage. When you all in someone, you have static. Suddenly we don't have enough damage to all in someone, and we just don't deal damage. Like look, this is a Ziggs bot, and if I go static in here, it just won't feel to be that I have that much damage. Look, I'm gonna go for a basic UW all in, but this doesn't feel to be that I even have enough damage. This was the static all in, right? Now let's go for another all-in. Let's go for the Kraken all-in, right? sell this item, get Kraken. Whatever, teleport, do the same combo, right? Now, again, if you jump in on the Ziggs while you have 2 Kraken procs already, your DPS gonna be significantly higher, your upfront DPS, right? If you, like, say you basic attack twice a minute, then you go in or something, right? But you guys pretty much get my point. So that's pretty much it. Like, I know that static gonna give a edge early on, but without Kraken you just can't, like, you can't actually leverage your lead. That's my point, right? Like, your lead, you're gonna have some degree of push, right? Maybe your roams are a teensy bit better, but your scaling doesn't go anywhere, and Tristana doesn't scale badly in long term with Kraken. But if you just skip it, then that just sucks, you know? Because ideally your build shouldn't even be Nabori. If you go static, I know that people don't really like Infinity's Edge, but it's more Snowbally than Nabori. Because, like, if you wanna go static, you have to go IE. Because the issue is that if you don't have, like, an upfront good all-in, then, like, with this build you specifically wanna snowball. I can't even talk. So, like, your damage should be, like, as I guess possible. And so you're not looking for, like, for multiple rotations of combos to kill someone. Preferably they should be rather squishy. Because even he sort of scales with crit, and does it scale with crit damage? Critical chance, Okay. So that's pretty much my point. Have a nice day.